After her husband's tragic death, the mother of triplets passed away. After this, mother of triplets tragically loses her husband in a horrific car crash. She also sadly passed away. This heartbreaking story is not for the faint of heart. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and click that notification bell to get amazed by these real-life stories every day. And now, let's continue our story. Ana Paula Faria was a lovely young mother. She gained so much attention in Brazil in 2016 when she gave birth to triplets. She initially believed that she was only pregnant with twins until she made her admission to the local hospital. The medical team informed her that she was actually not pregnant with twins. One of the babies did not appear on the ultrasound scans, apparently. Fortunately, the baby did not cause any complications, and she delivered the triplets in less than only 5 minutes. All 3 babies were fine and in a great health. Renato Santos, her husband, was overjoyed, and the newspapers loved the story as well. Ana lives in a small town, and she briefly became a local legend for quite some time. The couple's life was beyond wonderful. They had 3 healthy, perfect little babies and loved each other very much. However, things didn't remain the same and were about to change. Renato died in a car accident in September 2021, which was the family's first tragic event. Ana had recently lost her beloved husband, leaving her 3 children orphaned. Ana's last Facebook post was to commemorate her late husband's memory after long 5 months without his presence. She wrote, "She was missing so much that her heart was terribly hurt. She couldn't even stop crying about it, and there's nothing she can do to change or take back what had happened. Nothing can fill the void since he was gone, as she was trying to figure out how to move on. He left her with 3 healthy reasons to keep going." Of course, she was referring to her triplets. They were 5 years old and needed a lot of attention by this point. This must have been a very difficult time for her. Ana posted the message on Monday, 8 March 2021. However, she wrote the post to talk about her grief and would ultimately turn out to be her goodbye text. And just 5 months after the children lost their father, they have also lost their mother. Ana was experiencing COVID-19 symptoms only a week before her death and was tested, but somehow the results were negative. She retook the same test a few days later to be certain that she didn't have it. This time was different because the test came out positive. Her health deteriorated after she was admitted to the hospital. Soon after that, she was admitted to intensive care and ended up passing away there. This was the same hospital where she had delivered her 3 children. Ana died just a week after her sister, Karina Angelica Faria, 33, who had also contracted the virus as her health declined and needed to be intubated. However, no ventilator was available at the time. The 3 5-year-olds are now orphans, are now living with their grandparents. Lori and Chris Coble are 2 people who are also aware of how horrible life can be sometimes. Their lives were destroyed in an instant on May 4, 2007. However, almost a year afterward, on what appeared to be an ordinary day, a miraculous reversal would take place. Lori was driving home with her 3 lovely children, Kyle, Emma, and Kate. Lori's mother sat next to her, and the children were placed in the back of the car. They were each busy with their own activities. Kyle was playing a video game, the Emma was watching television, and Kate had fallen asleep off. Kyle's 5th birthday had just passed, and they had spent the day at the local Ferris wheel. The last thing Lori recalls was taking a look back as the car stopped to make sure her children were doing okay. Thank God, they were all fine. She turned around and pinched Kate's toe to force her to wake up. What actually occurred after that? She only understands what other people have been telling her. A massive loaded truck traveling at an approximated 122 km/h collided with the back of her car. Lori was knocked out, and the children and their mother were severely hurt. Because the accident was so severe, the rescue team decided to admit Lori and her children to separate hospitals. Chris, the husband, was kept informed, but then, as he soon discovered, even the best experts couldn't save the children's lives. Lori had no recollection of what had happened because her body had suffered so much from the accident. Chris had to inform his wife of the accident and explain the loss of the 3 children while in mourning. Ascertained that what had occurred would not have been useless. The grieving couple started to research the road transportation industry and its flaws, and they soon discovered that many had a background of speeding. The truck driver who caused the accident pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of manslaughter and was sentenced to prison as a direct consequence. However, Lori and Chris didn't settle for this and wanted more than just justice. This is an industry that is based on pay for miles driven. Chris said at the time for many truckers, if that truck is not rolling, they're not getting paid. This creates a whole industry where danger and real safety issues are being encouraged. As a matter of fact, these truckers are speeding so much and exhausted. Nevertheless, in the midst of their quest for justice, the couple encountered a surprising twist following the death of their children. Their grief was absolutely enormous, and it took a long time for them to be able to return to doing the most fundamental things in life. However, one thing had always been obvious from the outset. They wanted to have children again. Their 3 children had brought so much joy into their lives. By now, Lori was pregnant 6 months after the accident, according to a pregnancy test. Lori, on the other hand, was carrying 3 babies, not just 1. In addition, there were 2 girls and a boy among the 3. The triplets were born through in vitro fertilization. 10 of Lori and Chris' eggs were fertilized during the procedure. Moreover, 3 of them developed into viable embryos. Thus, according to Chris, there was only a 10% chance that they would succeed. The doctors had the intention to implant only 2 of them, and yet Lori and Chris felt that this would be inappropriate. They had a feeling something like this was going to happen. They also requested that all 3 embryos be transferred because they had lost 3 children. The doctors were in agreement. The couple's terrible tragedy has now been met with new hope. They saw a counselor once a week for several months to help them deal with their thoughts and feelings. On one hand, there was the heartbreaking loss of 3 beautiful children, and on the other, there was the promise of 3 new babies, Ashley, Ely, and Jake. He had believed the only reason he survived was because he stayed here with Chris. He believed that he survived so that they could continue talking about these memories as a family. Chris said counseling helped us work through the issues of trying to deal with grief, while also believing happiness is a double-bladed sword, and they were dealing with it every single day that passed. Of course, the 3 little miracles would be no substitute for the lost children. However, the couple thought that the children taken by the accident are somehow responsible for the wonderful coincidence. Today, they seem to be doing well and more happy than ever. In August 2021, the family shared an Instagram photo of Ashley, Ely, and Jake holding a piece of paper stating that they are about to enter 8th grade. Tara and Dirk Lindsay decided to go out to dinner with their 3 children, Rachel, Madeline, and baby Jets, one night in 2004. They were optimistic about what the future was holding for them. They had intended to celebrate their plans to establish a sheep farm in Texas. And though their lives were about to drastically change, a drunk driver collided with their vehicle. The couple was instantly brought to the emergency department and remained there for a week and critically injured. Then they discovered what had occurred. The medical personnel did not want them to figure out what went down, Tara explained. Tara knew something was wrong when she awoke surrounded by friends, the moment she requested to see her children. And the silence spoke for itself, as they were still battling for their lives, unable to attend their children's funerals. Tara's mother instead planned her grandchildren's funerals while her daughter was in the hospital. Tara explained that they were able to attend the funeral by ambulance, and then they brought them back later. To make matters worse, the drunk driver never stopped to apologize. However, the Lindsays knew they still had much love and affection to give, and could not imagine a future with children, and could not imagine a life without them. Adoption would be their strategy, because Tara had her tubes tied after the birth of their son. It took 2 years, and though 2 years after the accident, they received a phone call informing them that their adoption agency had authorized their application, and that they would soon be parents to twin girls named Dob and Fate. When questioned about how many children they have, the couple said 5, 3 in heaven and 2 on earth. They never wanted Dob and Fate to be forgotten, but they surely will never forget their biological children. Tara admitted that the pain in both of their hearts would never go away no matter what they have done. However, they can live after a horrific event. Tragic stories like this. What emotions did these stories elicit in you? Were they inspiring or heartbreaking to you? Give us your opinions about it.